Hello, everybody. Hang on. Let's have a go back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Turkish Grand Prix. A little bit late to it. Qualifying has already started, and so I will go to my magical qualifying screen. 16 drivers on the track. It's a very nice, large amount of drivers to have. Definitely. So, as I have been definitely trying to get here as soon as I can on time. We've got Pearls here as well. If I check, I should be able to sort this out. Very interesting, right? So, here we go. Just Josh, I think that is, has set a 1 minute 10.9. Not anywhere near that we'd be expecting. Laps exactly to be, in fact, our predicted fastest lap time will be a 108.5, and give or take about about a third of a second, but regardless, we should be around that margin. So keep your eyes peeled for anyone going anywhere near as quick as that. That's Shah also going quickest. We should be able to see some other drivers going quickly. Bocanaldo here is our last winner out in Baku. TXH has won the other two races that have occurred this season. Happy won the sprint race in Silverstone, and I think that's enough that we can get out of the way. Lightning as well, his first race here. He's a very good driver. You should be keeping an eye out for him. Alan getting a very interesting time. I think that might be an outlap or such, but he's despawned. Right. With that all out of the way, I think finally we can get on with this part. All right, there's okay, whatever. Just realised I have to share screen to Discord. Pearls, can you speak?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. All right, and I was just
Well,
checking
test.
if your audio is working. It is. That's great. So, Beast is currently atop the session with a 190, leading TXH, who leads Poconaldo, who leads Alan, who leads Just Maxi, who leads Shah, who leads Happy, then Just Maxi. But that's TXH moving forward with 108.8, right ahead of TXH. We've got a wide range of drivers here, 18 fantastic drivers. I will say that is a very well attended race, one of the best amounts of attendance that we've had for a long time. Keep in mind, for all of you guys watching, the fastest lap predicted could possibly be a 108.5, give or take about 0.3 of a second in comparison to that. Currently we've got a 108.8, so it's falling in within that margin, but I still think we'll see some quicker times, especially from previous world record holder, Poconaldo. Current world record holder is Ysai, and his world record around here was a 107.4. A ridiculous lap time, but I don't think we'll be seeing lap times anywhere close to that around this circuit. Mostly because of how bumpy a track it is. Very bumpy, very inconsistent, and it's very hard to get lap times close to that without going for laps and laps and laps around Istanbul Park. Regardless, you're going to see times, I think, piling a little bit quicker than what we have right now.
Okay, your Discord stream is much better.
Let's see.
Is anybody improving?
I think someone just improved. I think maybe Lightning just improved. There's Sweet Jelly. He improved up to P8 with a 110.3. Sorry. Beast topped the session. Sorry. Yeah, that's one thing I didn't realize. Beast topped the session. He's taken the quickest time from TXH. So I think this will be a big duel between these two drivers, between TXH and between Beast, because these two in Silverstone they battled it out, and again here in Istanbul Park, I think we'll see something similar. But Happy's put at P3. Very nice lap time, 108.190.
Here's our last race winner, Poconaldo on 4th. His quality is not really in pace right now, but you never know. The sprint race,
I mean,
he can deliver.
I think Poconaldo's going to go on his hot lap, so let's have a look.
Yeah.
I muted myself
into
from
turn
muting, right. Into turn 1, you take that in about 4th or 5th. Now up here you can slightly cut the track, go on the grass, take it down to about 5th gear. Don't go too wide, don't go too soft. Maybe down to 3rd, maybe down to 4th around that corner. And you keep it pinned flat out through here. That's what these cars have allowed us to do. It's fantastic. Here you break down 3 gears. Don't go too wide. Just about on the limit for Poconaldo. And he set a purple sector 1.
Ooh.
Keep in mind, Poconaldo was a previous world record around here in Turkey. Not anymore, but he was. A 108.2 he originally set, I believe. Or 180, I can't exactly remember. Into the chicane, it's about 4th gear. You don't want to go any higher, you don't want to go any lower. It's a very very bumpy area, and you have to thread the needle completely. So let's have a look through Sector 2. It's a 24.9, which isn't specifically an amazing sector, but regardless, with a lap going through to the line, you want to keep it pinned flat out through. Alan improves up to third, keep in mind. Pocanaldo, where does he go? He goes third, just ahead of Alan.
He got third.
My goodness, the top 4 are separated by less than 2/10.
Yeah, that is... Whew, that is close.
Very close.
So this sprint is going to be...
The top 4 are the top 5, I'll even say, are separated by less than 0.3 of a second. But then after first all the way down to 18th is separated by 16 seconds.
16, yeah. There's a red flag.
So
the end of qualifying, Beast on
you have
pole.
big gaps and you have small gaps. I think you really have a sort of field spread. You see Beast down to Happy are very close, and then Maxi all the way down to about Sweet Jelly. Sorry, not even further than that, probably down to Just Josh. Just Maxi down to Just Josh. Ridiculous. It's about 10 drivers are separated by less than a second once again. Quick reminder for all of you guys that are interested in this part about it. 2 minutes to line up on the grid. Drivers are able to pick the tyres that they want to start the sprint on, but keep in mind these drivers have to start the race on the tyres after the sprint. So however worn the tyres are, they have to still start the race on it. Unless they want to go and pit midway through the sprint, at the end of the sprint, who knows. 8 laps of tyres. I think we'll see some go into the pit, some will want to stay out. Some may start on hards, some on medium, some on softs, and those softs will probably go maybe like part way through and they'll box in the second last lap or even on the last lap. Start in the pit lane and hope for the best.
Hope for the best is the best advice, yeah. But yeah, this top 4 is top 5. That is pretty even Steven for a sprint race. And I mean, even in this number part, the 25 cars, it's a bit less desirable than the 21 cars. But we'll see how the drivers are handling, because we have had some complaints by drivers.
Yeah.
It's up driving.
Well, of course, what it means by an opening after sprint end, you have to get to the end of the track, and you can't pit after you cross the finish line. You have to pit when you cross the finish line or before that. What's YSI saying? YSI, I know that your world record is a 107.456, very specifically. I said a 105 was possible YSI, so I think that's realistic. I know that YSI you are the world record holder, a 107.456, but still. Right, we can't see the lights, but the lights are illuminated. No, they're not.
And then there you go.
Yeah, Beast off pole position, he's kept it relatively nice. You see, big spread of tyres. Let's have a look. Pocanaldo has opted for the hard tyres, interestingly. That's just Maxi's teammate. He's had a bit of an off through turn 2.
Yeah.
Let's have a look all the way down. All's on in last, he's on the mediums. Ford, he's on the... Lots of drivers have opted for the mediums, but some have opted for the softs. And very few have decided to opt for the hard tyres.
That's the exception in the league.
Gosh, you see how much the order's changing. You know what? I like having this many drivers in a race, because you see how much it changes. Pocanaldo, he's seeming to suffer on those hard tyres. That's a Williams off the track. That's not great. So, here we go. I don't think we need any more messages. That's TXH in the lead, but Alan's in the lead. Oh my goodness. The lead has switched hands from TXH to Alan. From Beast to TXH to Alan. Beast, what's happened to him? He's dropped down a lot.
Let's see,
to 11. That's ridiculous. That's
So
great.
not a good start.
And that's Dodi.
Yeah.
He got a bit vertical in that BMW. My golly goodness, this is crazy.
Reminds me of Baku a bit.
And Alan still out there
Baku's up
leading.
back
Alan, remember, our previous world champion, but he's not achieved anything this year. Ridiculous. I will just say that Alan has not got a single podium this whole entire season, not in a sprint, not in a race. The best he's got, the closest he's got is pole position Australia, but he didn't even start, and he's now tapped the wall on the exit of turn 9, which means that the lead is going to be handed back to TXH, and that's going to be a nice lead to his teammate Happy in P2 now. Pocanaldo, he was down 11th, if you remember at the start. Now he's back up to 3rd.
Yeah.
Remember, he started 3rd, and he's now back up to a starting position. Let's have a look. Beast and Alan, 2 Mercedes teammates, separated by about a second, but they're close to each other. You got the 2 Just guys. You got Just Maxi and Just Josh. They're quite separated between each other. But regardless, it might be painful for the drivers, but it's beautiful for the eyes to at least watch this. But TXH is as he has in most other races, finesse the lead.
There's a Ferrari one too so far with Red Bull falling behind. Who's that in 4th? Lightning?
Lightning's in 4th.
Yes.
That's not expected. He was qualifying a lot lower down in the pack from P6 to P16. Only separated by about a second between all of these guys. Regardless, let's have a... Alan has recovered back up to P5, but the same cannot be said for his teammate anyway, near as much at least. But of course, the 2 Mercedes are starting on the soft tyres, which is interesting. Are they going to pull off like a midway sprint pit stop or pit at the end or something like that? Because obviously, starting on these tyres isn't, the optimal thing to do. That's Pocanado up to 3rd, I think. He's got past Lightning, I think, for a brief second. Wow. I mean, that's all I have to say for all of the action, but I think Lightning has got back ahead of Pocanaldo. So Pocanaldo, who was looking like he could possibly grab pole, he was only about a 10th off it. He's now being overtaken by a guy that was sort of midway through back. Happy's dropped back significantly. TXH, sterling job. Wi-Fi, what is this type of Wi-Fi, what is this type?
He's hating.
Okay, Wi-Fi.
Generational red. Right, anyway. Poco and Light having... Oh, there's Lightning going down.
So let's have a look through all of these guys.
Right.
Lightning has dropped down. He was running in 3rd. Now either it's a corner cut or something along those lines, but it's not anywhere close. Alan has made his way back up to 4th. We've got some unknown people here, Nicholas and Aaron. Beast has had another mistake because Lightning is significantly ahead of him, and he's got passed by Dodi as well, so he's back to P9 realistically. Obviously, luck not being in the Mercedes driver's favour.
Still do not know what happened to Beast, though. Just a bad start, I guess. I mean, Ellen has came back from pretty bad
That's
start.
Happy in the lead. What on earth has happened in the front? We were focusing on all the battles in the middle pack, but Happy's leading. Happy, who won the first sprint of the season in Silverstone, he's taken the lead. That's going to be lapping, I believe, Sir Nathan. So that's going to be him asked to move out of the way. But TXH has dropped down not only behind Happy, but also behind a driver in the same team of ownership, aka Pocanaldo. So that's very close battles, but That's interesting. Alan's dropped behind Nicolas, so another unknown driver showing what he can do on a sort of very early on in his career. This is interesting.
Oh my God, was I?
This is going to be a very interesting battle. Happy has lost the lead, it seems, to Poconaldo. Still seems to be marginally sort of very close to his teammate. You can't really see who's ahead or who's not. That's Poconaldo. He won the last race in Baku. He's probably going to take the lead of this one. So, a driver from the Middle East, a driver from Kuwait. He's taken the first win in a Middle Eastern country, and he's going to take a second win, possibly, in another race. I mean, if only we had the other thirds. If only we had a third race in the Middle East. If only we had Qatar in the calendar. We don't, but imagine if we did. Falconado would be winning all of those. It's going to be interesting, though, what the choice will be, if Falconado will stay out on the hard tyres and start the race on them, or if he will choose to box, because I think these two will be choosing to box off the mediums right at the end of the sprint. Many drivers will actually be choosing, especially Beast and Alan, the Mercedes drivers, starting on the soft tyres. They will definitely be choosing to box at the end of the sprint.
The drivers now in.
Lightning, who lost quite a few positions, he's got all the way back up to P5.
Oh, pardon me, hold on.
You okay, Carls?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Okay, Ysai.
He's on a hit one, plan B.
So that's Falconado. He's pulled out a second of a lead. He's managed to pull off an amazing job around some of the Middle Eastern circuits, being a Middle Eastern driver himself. But keep in mind, TXH is also a Middle Eastern driver, so these two will want to definitely be winning. Both of these will be wanting to win them as a sort of own closest to home race, if I can really call it, because neither of the drivers have a tracking game. TXH, the Bahrain driver, and Poconaldo, the driver from Kuwait, both of them don't have a track, even though they have Grade 1 listed Formula 1, the Grade 1 listed FIA tracks. Neither of those tracks are in the game, and neither of the tracks, or one of the tracks only are being used in actual F1. So, Poconaldo.
That is gonna. Who's gonna pit though? That's my question.
Yeah. Poconaldo probably has the margin to possibly try and box soon enough. But keep in mind, these two are the closest driver. This is the track closest to the drivers' sort of countries that they've picked. Poconaldo will choose to stay out and start on these hard tyres. He wins the sprint around Turkey in Istanbul Park. TXH in second, Happy in third. Nico, what's happened to Alan? Alan's boxed for new tyres.
What the?
He'll be starting in the pit lane. Dodie has chosen to. What on earth? Why have you just... Okay, Vidkal, you've just ended the sprint midway through.
We didn't even get to see all the results.
Yeah.
Alright.
Vidkal, you're a very strange man. You didn't let anyone finish, right?
Good job. Did you at least take a screenshot, Mikhail?
Right, okay.
VAR the stream, we need the
I'm having
results.
to head back to a different... So let's have a look at who's made their way onto the grid. So the two Ferraris both have decided to start this one on their sprint tyres, same as Poconaldo. The two Porsches have as well, the one Williams. He, I think, made a pit stop on the penultimate lap of the sprint, and he's made his way onto the grid with hard tyres on his vehicular means of transport. I'm interested in what's happened to Beast. Mostly because he's my driver. That's one thing, you know. I don't think he'll be able to get on soon enough, so that's interesting. Because not if you pitted this, if you pitted on the last lap. So if you didn't pit on the last lap, it's technically, you know, allowed, isn't it? Alright, here's the screen, here, in Turkey.
Right.
Drivers have lined up for the
Turkey.
Istanbul Grand Prix. You have Bogdanalo on pole position. Beast has disappeared into the distance and is not to be seen.
Yeah, we have 18 cars lined up with the grid. That's waiting for the lights to go on. A few cars have pitted, so they will start from the pits, obviously. So yeah, Red Bull in front, 2 Ferraris following up behind. And those 2 Ferraris is close for a championship battle. But Poco is also in a championship battle for the drivers as we watch the 5 red lights for the 26 laps in the track of Istanbul Park here in Turkey. As Turkey goes supersonic, and here we go for lap number 1. Poco now going to lead.
Oh, and that's a slow start
with
for the Audi.
Behind.
Audi getting a slow start off the grid lightning. Not lucky with his start.
Get it all down here.
So let's get a look at all of this. So, Bogdanalo leads. Just. Waisai has joined the race. That's interesting. Oh, Beast got a loading glitch, so Beast cannot drive for this one. So you know what, Vidgal, I don't know. I was gonna say, can I claim Waisai, but he's driving your car, so I don't know what on earth is going on. Waisai has left the race. That's sad, right? Bogdanalo leads TXH by half a second, but keep in mind these drivers are on old tires. One driver on new tyres, though, is Alan, and Alan is only 6 seconds off, and if he's able to get it closer lap by lap by lap by lap, then maybe, just maybe, he can catch up to the lead. Many other drivers can. That was just Josh around in the first sector. Similar thing with many other drivers like GT Beast Boy in that Montaigne. Also, Happy seems to have had some problems. He's down in position. You can see that because Alan is ahead of Happy. Alan is ahead of many drivers. Alan's, though, spun out, I think. Yeah. Unfortunate for this guy, the Canadian driver. He's been passed by Shah. That's a big achievement, isn't it? Big achievement in Alan's career. He got overtaken by Shah. Aaron leads. We don't even know this guy and who he is. Aaron and Sweet Jelly. These are 2 drivers which we probably don't exactly see too much in the lead. Sweet Jelly we saw in back in Baku, you could even say. He had that moment into turn 1 with the safety car, but this race he's challenging for the lead, mostly because he is on the fresh tyres and he is able to get a foot down, and these drivers lower down are not. TXH has boxed for new tyres and he's down in P13. Happy stayed out on these tyres, but he's looking to drop off all of these guys. Pocanalo is the only one remotely close, but he's getting on the sausage curbs. That's not very good from him, is it? Not good at all, if I say so myself. Right. I think the thing that you want to try and keep an eye on most is the standings, because the standings are definitely going to be something that will be changing quite a lot around here. 3 more DNFs and you get a safety car. So that would require all the drivers down from 13th place down to DNF. Ozon, Sir Nathan and YSI are all out. Dodi is currently running in last place, but last place is only 17 seconds off, so it's not explicitly a position of which you'd think to be terrible, you know. Alan up to 5th. He's making progress after a drop down to 12th. But the one that we want to... That's just Maxi. We didn't really see him too much in the sprint at all. He had a bit of a bad sprint. But in this one, he's actually challenging rather nicely for position here in the Grand Prix with 26 laps overall. And I think that's a few laps rain. Aaron, I think, had a slight mistake. Maybe a bump. I don't know. I didn't see. But what we do see is Sweet Jelly leading by over 2.5... by over 2 seconds, nearly 2.5 seconds. What's happened there? I think that was just Josh having an off. Yeah, big off. Big off, enough to cost 16 seconds in race time. And that's not very good for him at all. And the VCarb team. His teammate in P10, 12 seconds off the lead. He got a nice big... you know, field. I'm just thinking, has Ford got ABS off? I don't know. That's interesting. So, Sweet Jelly leads Poco by about a second. Alan has made his way back up to 3rd. This is looking like the most promising race that Alan's had, and that's Sweet Jelly off. Sweet Jelly is off the track, and he has lost that position. So this is going to be a race led by Pocanaldo, and then followed closely by Alan in the Mercedes. And Alan is on new tyres, Pocanaldo is not. So this will be a very interesting battle. That's Happy. Happy's got a mistake again. He's just making more and more problems on these old tyres. He's going to have to pit soon, like his teammate. His teammate pit for new tyres, and it's not been a big problem. It was like, that's GT Beast Boy. He's had a big spin through the main straight. My goodness. That is really crazy. Crazy. But, currently the not so crazy thing are these two up in front. Pocanaldo, he is a 2-time race winner in this league. He won in Baku last time around, and he also won in Las Vegas last season. Alan, though, is picking up the pace and is trying to at least get closer and closer to the Black Bison driver. And it looks like that Pocanaldo's had a bit of a problem. So it's closed up the gap. I don't know if he's lost the lead as of yet. I think he has. And that's Alan. Keep in mind, Alan, I don't think has even led a race this entire season. He's now taken the lead of this Turkish Grand Prix. If he crosses a line this time, this will be his first lap led this entire season. But this will be a really good lap led. Coming down from, I think, 12th on the grid. He's going to have the big advantage on tyres compared to Pocanaldo. Pocanaldo is on 8 lap older hards compared to Alan. Alan is on far newer and fresher medium tyres, and this will give him a big advantage, especially for him to just fly away. But don't say that too soon, because there are still many other drivers at threat. The McLaren driver, I didn't even notice. McLaren have decided to actually get in some decent drivers. Same with Audi. Main thing is, interestingly, you see some of the top drivers are not present here, like Rayan or some of the others, like Beast as well. Beast has loading glitch, we know that already. Happy, I think, has made his first pit stop, so he's onto the hard tyres, just like his teammate TXH. Teammate TXH is on ultra hard tyres, but the good thing about him being on hard tyres is that he's 8 seconds ahead of his teammate. He's got the huge undercut, and he's made far less mistakes. The main thing was that he needs to hope that he's not going to make any more mistakes, though. Sector 3, something's happened. Something's happened because Poconaldo's got right back up to Alan. I don't know if that's a corner cut problem or anything along those lines. Alan has the fastest lap. It looks like he's had a problem. But who's had a problem in Sector 3? Let's have a look through the whole entire order, because I don't know. It you don't seem to see, oh, it's Shah. Shah is out of this one. Out on the exit, he probably just went straight on. Shah in the Haas, he just went straight on. It's a double DNF for Haas. Unfortunate for them, this season. And that's Ford dropping down. What's happened to him? He's in the pits, that's why. He's changing up the tyres. Poconaldo and Allen going at it like a duel.
Okay.
Only took me 67 minutes, like 6-7. Anyway,
Shut.
these two will be absolutely trying their hardest to get the. Keep in mind, Alan is on 8-lap-old mediums. Poconaldo won the sprint, but he's on 16-lap-old hard tires. So the main question to be begged here is, Alan should be ahead. And will Alan be ahead? Yes, he will. He won't just be ahead by a little bit, but he'll be ahead by a lot. A lot being 1.7 seconds, and Lightning has fallen back as well. Aaron has fallen back as well. Dodie, he's running in a fantastic position. You've not really seen him get up to these sort of positions, at least in this season, but let's see where he can put it. He's not actually lost a huge amount of time. Man, again, in the Williams, he's put a nice position. He's on the hard tyres as well. He pitted at the end of the sprint. He stayed on these tyres for quite a decent amount of time. TXH. Oh, that's Dodie. Dodie's had a mistake.
Okay. That was a flip and a spin there. Okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for
All
him.
in one.
But
The exit up to 4.
he's still running in a good position in comparison. That's Maxi running very wide off the track. That's Poconaldo getting the lead right back off Alan. These two are swapping positions like no one's business. And you see Lightning, he's just bouncing in between 3.5 to 5 seconds off the lead. He's got a very stable position. Let's have a look at what's happened in
Sector
2. I think it's gone now, but something did definitely happen in that second sector.
Yeah.
Oh, Happy. No, sorry. Who's dropped down? I think it was Dodie or. Yeah, I think. Yeah, whatever.
Probably Dodie. Yeah, he was 7. Yeah. Oh my god, TXH is very far away from the leaders.
Yeah, but
Alan changes again.
It's back and forth. Alan loses time, loses the lead, gains time, gains back the lead. But, and that's Poconaldo around. That's Poconaldo. I think something happened to Alan simultaneously as well, which brings Lightning right into it. He's ahead of both of them. Lightning, he's not even around to be a huge driver. He partook in one race last season in Czechia where he qualified third and I think finished fourth. He's quite a good driver overall, but he's never really sort of shown himself off in this league. But this one he has, and he's into the pits.
Alright, didn't last long, but the last time we saw an Audi driver lead a Grand Prix was Ryan in the British Grand Prix.
It was, yeah.
So, yeah. But anyways, Alan now back in the lead. Poco's gonna fall out behind.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a change of leading.
But I think Lightning might be able to come out just ahead. He's gonna not come out just ahead, but he's gonna come out just behind TXH. TXH has made the first pit stop this race, but he pitted on lap 2. So these tyres are about 9 laps old, and specifically they're going to be 9 laps older than Lightning's hard tyres. But let's not forget that there's another driver with older hard tyres. Poconaldo, his hard tyres are 19 laps old.
He hasn't pit since the sprint, but right now he's still, he still has that tyre. But yeah, it's not going to last long at all.
Last time we saw an Audi was the lead was Krakdev last race. I remember, yes, Krakdev led 3 laps, the first 3 laps in Baku last time out. and then had a connection problem.
Yeah, unfortunately. He was leading by a good margin, too.
Yeah. It's a very close one between these two, because of course Alan's tyres will now be 12 laps old, and especially that the medium tyres won't always be wanting to stay on that car for too long. I think Alan might be wanting to try and pull a one-stop around here. So will Pocanaldo, but Pocanaldo will be on significantly worse tyres right now, so Alan is going to want to pull a lead, but the whole thing is, has Alan's tyres run out? TXH, I think he's now closing a little bit by little bit. He is on the top two. He's now only 11 seconds off, and at the largest margin, he was about 19 seconds off the lead. But don't count our championship leader out of this one as well. Because yes, he did, make the mistake of staying on those medium tyres at the start of the race. But he's managing to gain and claw back bits of time, especially when the tyres of the leading drivers are running out more and more. Who just hit the...
Ooh.
Something happened. And that's GTV's boy who's whacked the wall at the start of Sector 2. Interesting. Oh, and that's Dodie. Just keeping on track. Looks to be a bit of a grip problem. And that's Pocanello back into the lead. This is ridiculous. Yeah. I think Alan went a little bit wide as well, so he's going to lose even more time to Pocanaldo. And my question here is it just about time to pit for some new tyres? I think TXH will also be thinking about boxing for some new tyres, maybe in about 3 or 4 more laps. Alan is definitely going to be thinking about it very, very soon, because we're almost halfway through this one. In fact, as we cross the line, we will be halfway through this one. And Alan will just be losing a bit of time to Pocanaldo. He actually gained about a tenth in the last sector. But these drivers are now going to have to try and pull something out the hat to make this work. May I also highlight the gaps between all of these drivers too. The gaps is very close between the top two. Decently close between the top 5, between the 3rd and 5th. And then after, once again, you have a huge amount of driving. Oh, my goodness. That was a brilliant timing, wasn't it? Just as I click on Ford, he also has a big spin.
Yeah. A lot of mistakes this race.
Yeah. Happy, I think I've just about made
I
it
didn't
past
realize what
Man.
side race already has.
Alan into the lead. Alan into a big lead. Surges into the lead. And may I think at this one, it would be a good decision for Alan to pit and have that advantage over Pocanaldo. He's halfway through the race, but no, he's staying out. He might be trying to pull a bit of a soft strategy instead. No, yes, he is. He is staying out. I think Alan might be trying to put the softs on for the last 8 laps. So keep an eye peeled for how long he stays on these mediums, because it seems to be quite a long time. I think that's GT Beast Boy just about to be lapped. He makes way for the top drivers. It's not been a fantastic race, but I think it was bound to happen. I think we're going to see... We've got 2 drivers already. That's just Josh. He's also had a mistake, so he's going to be lapped rather soon. Drivers are getting... The gaps between them are getting bigger and bigger. All I will mention, though... Lightning isn't too far behind the leaders. I think you'll maybe got a corner cut penalty or something along those lines. But keep in mind, if the leaders pit, they will come out around where Lightning is. So Lightning's not count... You can't count Lightning out for the win of this one. And keep in mind, Lightning has already boxed for new tyres. So he'll be, consistently there for the win. Alan's dropped down by 5 seconds to Pocanaldo. And TXH is very close between these drivers. TXH is only 5 seconds, so something's happened with Pocanaldo has drawn him a big lead. And that's Alan into the pits.
Alan's big.
Let's have a look at what tyres Alan goes onto. I think he's probably going to try and go onto the soft tyres and have a quick last stint. One stopper from the Mercedes driver, it seems to be. And it is...
Yeah.
It is what?
It is soft.
Let's have a look. Yeah,
Is it?
it is the soft tyres.
No.
And he comes
Both
out,
of
as
them
I
might
said,
struggle
with
a bit.
lightning. He's on newer tyres, though, and softer tyres, which is why Alan will pull a gap. But no, Alan won't pull a gap. He will spin and lose position to Sweet Jelly. And to Happy. Oh, no, but Happy's at a moment of himself.
And Happy just went up too. Right.
My
Right, Alan
goodness.
has had a disaster of an out
Alan,
lap.
decent pit exit, decent way all the way through. But yeah, Pocanaldo, my goodness, he's on 24 lap old tyres. I wonder if he'll try and stick out another couple laps and just make it so he's technically done a whole race length on these tyres. Close enough, really. He's on old hard tyres.
Very old.
Unless I missed a pit stop from him, but I don't think I did.
Yeah, I don't think he pit it yet.
Hmm.
Yeah. He is somehow whispering that tire very hard. For this,
Yeah.
for his
And
first
he's still
stint
keeping that gap
has
to
already
TXH.
exceeded attack.
Because apparently TXH has
Yeah.
managed to trash these hard tyres himself. I think TXH will either be trying to stay out till the end, but I also think that TXH might also try the move of just staying out on these hard tyres till the end, which, to be honest, will protect his position rather well. And even if he's like P4 or P5, he will still keep championship lead. How big is championship lead? I'm going to have a quick check as well.
Yeah, go check.
A championship lead currently of 22 points.
22. Oh, okay.
22.5 points, technically.
Hmm.
And keep in mind, the closest rival after this race will most likely be Alan, because Beast wasn't able to take part. So, if I'm being honest, the gap won't really close too much for the for the Emirati driver.
Yeah, that is true.
He'll be leading quite nicely. Is that Pocanaldo? No, it's just Maxi behind him. Just Maxi, the driver, who we had a big battle with for a big portion of the Australian Grand Prix. Just Maxi, the driver, who almost, won the sprint after a bit of a mistake and almost won the race in Silverstone, but had big mistakes. He probably looks like the biggest championship rival of TXH, but he's also been not very consistent, and as you see, he runs off onto the runoff, and that's Pocanaldo also. My goodness.
Oh,
the two Red Bulls have had a big problem. Alan's having a big problem. Lightning has suddenly been drawn into all of this. He's just behind Pocanaldo. The race has come alive. There are 8 laps remaining, and TXH has pulled enough of a lead possibly to cushion the effects of Pocanaldo and just Maxi. This race might have just fallen into the possession of TXH.
Jeez. That is... Okay, that was... What a moment.
Yeah. It was not expected. Again, TXH, it seems that he might want to pit. He took the first 2 laps on the medium tyres and boxed them to the hards, and he has not changed tyres since. But the gaps aren't exactly changing a huge amount, and if he's able to just keep this car running on the track and try and get some lap times in, he could possibly win this one. But of course, there's still another person in this race who can definitely destabilize him, and that's just Maxi, because he gained 4 tenths in the first sector, and I doubt he won't gain any less. No, he's actually lost time in the middle sector. Pocanaldo, though, hasn't lost time in the middle sector. he's gained about 7/10 of a second. So this will be another fight itself. Alan's managed to get past Lightning. Lightning is a threat from Happy. So never even think that this race is as stable as you think, because it can change so quickly. I don't think Poconado will be a threat from anybody else except the top three. I don't think Alan will be able to challenge. And after a race where he probably was able to challenge to the lead consistently, after a bit of a bad outlap, he's just been able. He's just had to sit back.
Yeah. Has TSH pitted yet? Because I feel like I've seen him pit before. I'm not sure. But anyhow, he is 6.5 seconds ahead. Alan, I don't know. He could catch up to Boko to get third. And that, as soon as I said that, he has spun. So that is not good at all. Not perfect timing. I think I cursed him.
Sorry about that.
Right. That's gonna.
What's TXH going to do? He's going to choose to stay out. So this is going to be an absolute, crazy end to this race.
Yeah. Mind if I take the last lap for this one?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. I haven't done it in a while, so.
Yeah. So TXH right now is leading by a second. Poconaldo is about three. Poconaldo's got past. So after a very interesting, again, both of the drivers, Alan and Poco, having very exploratory outlap of the race, they've come back, and at least Poco's come back after a bit of an exploratory first lap, and he is now wanting more. He is wanting to get close to his fellow friend of countries with close proximity. I can't say his own countrymen because they come from different countries. One's from Bahrain, one's from Kuwait. But they're both from the Middle East. Only a second separates these two guys. I think that we also want to, have a little bit of a mention that these two guys come from the same sort of camp of ownership. Poconaldo comes from so Red Bull and Audi and Ferrari all are under ownership from Vitcal, or the league owner. So no matter what, Vitcal will be happy with any sort of result, especially that 4 of the top 5 drivers, 5 of the top 6 drivers come from his camp of ownership. Happy, TXH from Ferrari, Poco from Poco and just Maxi from Red Bull, and Lightning from Audi. Nearly all the top 6 are from him, all except Alan. Alan, who's having a few off-track explorations.
Yeah, and Poco just separated with TXH by 10, so. And that's going to keep the lead there, probably, Poco.
Poco's, taking the lead. Okay, Vitcal.
Alright.
I didn't say fellow countrymen, though, did I? I said of similar area.
Yeah. Damn, 800ths of a second split between them.
Yeah.
It'll be tight finish.
Poconaldo, it looks like he's got a bit of a loss, but it's fine. Can I open fastest lap? Fastest lap is Alan, 109.4. I don't think we'll be seeing any quicker laps than a 109.4, at least in the race. Qualifying brought on our quickest lap. It was a 108.813 from Beast. Beast, who isn't in the race now, which is quite unfortunate for the Brits. Yes, Vidkal, I have seen, yes. So 3 laps left to go.
Jeez. Right, he is extended lap by a few now.
Yeah. Main question though is what will just Maxi be able to catch up? Will he be able to make it a Red Bull 1-2 between TXH being chucked down a little bit?
Yeah.
Alan has just dropped back. He has dropped off. So has Happy and so has Lightning. But they're all in close proximity, and keep in mind, we're not having only a battle for the win of this race or for the podium positions, but we're also having a battle for the points playing positions in
Mm-hmm.
the 4, 5, 6, and 7. Not really 7, but 6, 7.
Okay.
Anyway,
Go
Pokemonal will be getting
on, go on.
DRS off Dodie. No, he won't. He should be getting it off Dodie, though. And through into the last sector, he is just having a whale of time. Times are setting in 110.
Just
So,
Maxi closing behind.
yes, that's a really good spot from you, from you, Pearls. They're close.
Yeah.
They're close by about 6 tenths of a second, 7 tenths of a second. No, 6 seconds. I'd really say, and Maxi is definitely going to fight for this. He fought TXH in Australia. He fought TXH in Silverstone. Now he wasn't here in Baku, but then for this time round in Turkey, he's going to want to take a position and make it a Red Bull 1-2 for the team because Red Bull
Yeah.
haven't seen. Oh, that's not going to be helping in the Red Bull 1-2 though, is it? He's managed to recover it nicely, and if he's able to make enough time on TXH on the final lap, it might be just beneficial enough to get past TXH. It seems like he's not lost a huge amount of time. This guy, though, has not been losing any time. All that he's done is been very clinical and got on with what he's needed to do. Just Maxi gets up into P2 as well, so it's a Red Bull 1-2.
Nice.
We haven't seen a Red Bull 1-2 since France last season, with Thax leading the way to, I believe, TXH. But the one thing that we need to remember now is that there's been very few 1-2s in this league ever. The only two was Las Vegas in season 1 and season 2 in France. And of course in this in this one, we've got another 1-2, but it's not always a complete 1-2. If there's a mistake made from Maxi, it can very much be taken by TXH. But we can ignore that because we're getting closer and closer to the end. I'll hand it to you, Pearls, with our Red Bull driver.
So it has been 2 wins now for this man in the Red Bull. It was last time out in Vegas after a great red flag finesse. Got to hand them to him, and then it was another one, a pretty dominant one. Well, he stole that one pretty much from a very unlucky TXH. But for now, it's going to be a Red Bull 1-2 as he wins for the 3rd time in a row. Ronaldo wins the Turkish Grand Prix as with a dainty little spin, Maxi just finishes off for a very long-awaited Red Bull 1-2 once again.
3 tenths. But keep in mind, you've got these 3 guys. Not these 3 guys anymore. Happy's managed to pull away from Alan.
Yeah.
He takes P4. Alan's managed to pull a decent P5, but showing what he had in the first part of the race, he definitely could have been challenging for the win. No more results. These are the results currently. Lightning crosses the line, P6. But regardless, the positions won't be changing from now on. Drivers have been lapped, which is interesting. Got a lot of people out of this one. So, we're going to have some post-race interviews, but before the post-race interviews, let's have a look at some very important replays.
Yep.
I say very important because it's funny. Alright, I'm going to try and get up a few different ones. So, if I can, if File Explorer lets me do this. Right. So, you won't be able to see this here on but on stream, we have a very interesting clip. This is a clip between Poconaldo and Alan, and where where Poconaldo had a bit of an oopsie, but also where Alan had a bit of an oopsie simultaneously as well. Let's have a look at another one too. This is a slightly different one where we saw... I'm trying to remember where we saw each of these ones happen. I think it was Ford going and hitting the wall. At that point, he was quite far off the lead. It's not exactly a very necessary part of the race's story. But regardless of that, let's have another look as well. So this one is with, I think, Alan. Alan having a bit of a mistake out of the pits. Unfortunate for him. And Happy, of course, having an off too. That was interesting. Lap 16 was very eventful. And then our final moment was when I believe it was just Maxi having a bit of an off and getting a slowdown, and of course Poconaldo having a bit of a mistake too. With all of these seen, then let's have a bit of a chat. So, there are a few drivers that want to have a chat. Let's have a speak first to our race winner, Poconaldo.
Hello. Hello.
I mean, how was it? You had a very interesting... How did you pit on those at the end of the sprint, or were you on those hard tyres all the way from, like, the sprint?
Since the start of the sprint.
Sorry?
Yeah, since the start.
Mm-hmm.
Since the start of the sprint, yeah.
Yeah, that ridiculous. I mean, you were catching up to Alan a decent amount through there. So...
Yeah. I had pace, but I was spinning out a lot, so, like... But it was still, like, a good race. Like, I was definitely the fastest one on track. Pace was good. And the Bitcoin used the same graphic as last week.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It was great. I was so happy with my tire management on that one.
I mean, here's my part about this too, is that I saw you. It was really interesting because you still won by about 9 seconds to P2. But the main question is, it probably could have been way bigger if you... I think there was a bit of a theme that drivers had a bit of a thing on their outlaps. With Alan and you both having a bit of a thing. So yeah, I think that's all I pretty much have to say. Well done, Poco, for another win in this championship. You'll definitely... If you keep this form up, you could definitely be in the challenging for the championship later on. We only have a few more rounds left, though. Only got 4 more after this. So you're going to have to be on it as you have been this weekend. So I think, yeah.
I'll try to get back into the fight, but, the first 2 rounds wasn't great. So, I'll try. I'll try my best. But, like, my next 3 tracks are not the best. Okay.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much.
I can still,
I'm gonna get.
Yeah, I think
I have to speak to some of the other podium sitters, so thank you. Let's get up second podium sitter. Not Sweet Jelly. Hang on. Different. Not Sweet Jelly. There's just Maxi, right? So you tip off a Red Bull 1-2 with TXH.
Yeah.
Really good. I mean, you're catching up to TXH closer and closer to the end. But it's the first Red Bull 1-2 since France last season with Thax and TXH. So and of course it's first another podium since Australia. So good thing for you. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Just the overall performance, because you didn't seem to really be there throughout the whole thing, but then after you suddenly, just then,
Yeah. Yeah, the sprint I got unlucky. I kept getting bumps, kept getting hit into sausage curbs that flipped me 2 times. I managed to get back to P9 or P8. I forgot what the sprint result was. Qualified P6 for the sprint, and then it all went downhill in the sprint at the start. And then the feature race, I started on all the mediums, and then pitted around lap 8 or 9 for new hards, and then that kind of helped me. I made an overcut, and it just went on from there.
yeah. I mean, it was really interesting thing about consistency that you see so much, because I think the only time that I really noticed you having that bit of a mistake was you and Poconaldo having a bit of a spin through Sector 2 while trying to catch up to TXH, which you did in the end. And to be honest, you still really consistent, and I think you definitely showed at a very, very tricky circuit what you can do, and topped off a really fantastic race for Red Bull.
Yeah, I saved the spin when we both spun. I saved it better. I think when I looked behind me,
Yeah.
Poco did a full 360 or something, so he lost more time than I did.
Yeah.
But
All right, I think I'm going to have
Yeah.
to speak to some other people. Well done. Fantastic job for you, Maxi, after a bit of a tricky time. And, of course, a really good situation for a podium after a bit of a problematic middle part of the season that you've had through Silverstone, and not being there for Baku through problems. Yeah.
yeah,
But fantastic, you just showed where you are, especially after Silverstone, where you could also show where you were and just had a bit of a problem. But yeah, fantastic race
thank
from
you
you.
for having me.
I hope to see some also very good racing from you as well in Sochi next round.
We'll see.
Ooh.
What?
Sorry, I think I cut you off. Just talk about quickly.
I only said that we'll see how it's gonna go. That's what I said.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much, Maxi.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. TXH, our current championship leader, and also
Hello.
yeah, current championship leader and also podium sitter, 3rd place. I mean, when did you box? Like lap 2, and you're still in those hards till the end.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it was probably a really bad idea. I definitely should have started the sprint on hards, given it was the better strategy, to be fair. But I mean, I don't know what to say. It was really disappointing. I think I had the pace to definitely be P2, and if I capitalized better on the mistakes of Poco, I would have won. But unfortunately, Turkey's a roller coaster. You never know when you get bumps. And
Yeah.
it happens. As long as I keep my 100% podium rate, I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that seems okay for you through all of those different things. Also, what do you think you probably should have done the strategy? Because you saw with Alan was really fighting out there at the front after pitting after the sprint. So do you think it would have been better to sacrifice sprint points or do what Poco did, which was go on the hards and try and do that? Because I think if we do have to say this, if Alan didn't make as many mistakes as he did on the soft stint, and he probably could have gone on the mediums, if I'm being honest, he also could have been with a chance with Poconaldo. So that he is the main thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's a really high risk thing, and I think at this point where I am in the championship, the pressure that's on me, I shouldn't be taking these like strategical risks. Obviously, I'm gonna be taking all the risk I can when I'm driving because I'm in full control. But when it comes to stuff like this, like bumps or strategy, I rather just keep it safe, guarantee my position, and try my best I can on track.
All right. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I just wanted to add, I am like like 100% sure Beast left to place a curse on me, the Talmud curse, because every time I thought of Jews, bro, I kept getting bumps. I think
Uh-huh.
Poconaldo can also confirm this. If you can, type 1 in the chat, Poconaldo. Exactly, see. I'm telling you,
Right.
bro. Anyways, yeah, I don't have anything more to add.
But yeah, I think you're with your championship, because of course you're our championship leader too. You're in a very secure position, I think, for now, because Poconaldo was only one of the few drivers that have outscored you, and he's sort of. Yeah, you
47
have
points
Maxi, who's a
behind
bit
me.
closer, but overall, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
the drivers closest to you in the championship haven't scored, and you've just extended your lead even more.
I mean, you never know what can happen. Maybe one day my PC randomly crashes in the middle of the race. Maybe I crash. Maybe we can keep on like saying what might happen, but I think the only way we'll know if it's certain is like waiting until the last lap of the last race.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing though is that you could try at least winning it in the penultimate round, because I think that's a possibility that you could have. I think that if you
Yeah,
do
I
manage
feel
to
a
do
bit
that,
confident
it'll
in
be the first
Mexico,
time in this
actually.
league that someone has managed to do that.
I mean, I'll try my best. I definitely can't give out any guarantees, but
Yeah. I will
winning
just
in Mexico
mention
is
Y
definitely
side.
something I wanted to do.
Technically, you didn't mathematically win it before before the last round in season 1. I was still technically mathematically in the battle, so
Maybe.
TXH will
Um,
you have the opportunity to be the first one to possibly try and win it before the last round.
I could try to. I'll definitely try my best, but the upcoming tracks are not easy as well. I mean, you have Zandvoort can fuck up your race in like a second. Czechia is not guaranteed either. I mean,
Yeah,
we already all know what happened in AWC.
yeah.
I don't need to add on more. What else do we have? Sochi.
Sochi, and then
Sochi.
after there's
I mean, I've had
next.
problems with Sochi
Sochi's
when it
next
comes to
race.
consistency.
Sochi's next race, and then after.
Yeah, so I'll definitely need to practice more on that. But to be fair, I do have exams coming up, so it's gonna be
Yeah,
hard to balance out.
yeah. But I think you're in a very secure position. Even if you miss out a race or two, you'll still be probably in the lead of the championship. So, this
Yeah.
is fantastic. Thank you, TXH, for
Right, thank you for
speaking
having
with
me.
me. I think Alan's gone off. I think that will be about it. So,
Also, subscribe to the PA SimRacing
yeah,
channel.
subscribe. Thank you. And that is all our podium sitters for this Turkish Grand Prix. Thank you all for listening. I think it's been a fantastic one for all of us. Yeah, I think that's about it.